Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. According to the hadith of last time, where Nabi Kareem Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam says that on the day of Qiyamah, a person won't be able to leave his place until he answers 5 questions. From them, the one question was that how do you spend your life in the world? And another question is that and how much you practice on knowledge you have acquired. And the third is that how do you acquire your wealth. Number 4, how do you spend your wealth, and how do you look after your body. So these 5 questions will be asked to everybody. We did half already, now going further now. For the second question here is that the knowledge Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given to you, how much you do practice on the knowledge Allah has given to you. And the amount of knowledge a person has acquired, to that degree he is responsible to practice on that knowledge. That's why you'll find to become an alim is a very great thing. He acquires all types of knowledge. At the same time, an ordinary person, whatever knowledge he acquires which is necessary for him to live a comfortable life according to the Shariat, he could practice on that life also. For example, ordinary person learns Bishti Zevar, for example. He learns all the masalas of Bishti Zevar he learns. Now for him to practice on the masalas of Bishti Zevar and become a good Muslim, that is a responsibility it is now. You read something of Sirat, for example, and love of Nabi Kareem Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam and the Sahab Kiram come into your heart now, and you imitate their ways in life. So that will become a means of salvation for you. So Allah Ta'ala will ask a person how much knowledge you have acquired, how much do you practice on that knowledge you have given. If you have faltered in that knowledge you have acquired, then it will be punishable in the eyes of Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala. That's why it comes in one hadith, it comes also where Nabi Kareem Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam says the greatest punishment and the most severe punishment will be given to that person who kills a Nabi. And second is that person who a Nabi kills. And then the person who makes photographs, he'll be given a severe punishment also. And the person who kills his parents, he will also be given the same type of severe punishment will be given. And the last person mentioned in that hadith is that person who don't practice on his knowledge. So the knowledge Allah Ta'ala give a person, so much knowledge is necessary for us to practice on that knowledge Allah Ta'ala has given to us, otherwise we will be answerable for that knowledge. It comes in hadith that on the day of Qiyamah, one person will be in Jannat, and you'll see another person will be in Jahannam. We'll meet them and tell the person that you taught me deen and I came to Jannat. How come you there? How did you land up in Jahannam? So that person will tell him that I taught you, but I no practice on what I taught you. That's why I'm in Jahannam. So it's important that we educate ourselves and we practice on the education we have achieved. And the important thing for that is to have this yaqeen and trust and confidence that whatever we've learned from the wahi, from the knowledge from Nabi Kareem Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam is completely true. There's no false inside, there's no lies inside, and our guidance and our success only lies in following the commands of Nabi Kareem Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. Then only we find it will be easier for us to practice on the knowledge which we have been given. Many people you'll find that they go in an environment where people are enjoying themselves, they are eating and so that person also start eating and enjoying himself with them. Many people are involved in the environment of sports. When you go to this place, also playing sports for those people. But the same people when they come to the masjid and see some reading 2 rakat namaz, or reading some Quran, or reading some tasbih or zikr, they won't join them in that. So why is that? It shows that the importance of our Islamic education, importance of the akhirat is not there in the person. So we've got to understand that we've got to build the importance of the akhirat within ourselves. Then we will encourage to do more good work. Like we mentioned in the past this also, there's one Sahabi, he was going and he came to one grave of one Sahabi. He got off his horse and he started reading 2 rakat namaz. So those who were with him, they were surprised. Why is he reading 2 rakat namaz? What's happening now? So they asked him, what is there any special virtues for reading 2 rakat namaz here? He said, no, it's not that, he said. He said, I heard from Nabi Kareem Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam that the biggest wish of a person in the grave will be that Allah will give just so much time to read 2 rakat namaz, that he know the benefits of the namaz, 2 rakat namaz, what is in the qabr for him. So when I heard this hadith, I thought that I've got life in my body also, I've got iman in my heart also at the same time. So why don't we take the benefit of the time, read 2 rakat namaz now? So whenever we got the opportunity to do any good work, we should not fault in that. We should go forward, try and do more good work. That is good, but it will help us in the year after. And we know death is reality. Everyone knows that death is a reality. So we prepare for death from now and understand what the reality of life is and what is going to happen to us after we leave this world. Then our way of living will completely change. It will change for the better. It will change. Then we'll enjoy our ibadat also. We'll enjoy our du'as also. We'll enjoy everything because we got a purpose behind what we are doing. Then we find the third question which Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala asks a person is, so where did you acquire your wealth? How do you acquire your wealth? And at the same time, how did you spend your wealth also? These two questions also will be asked. Otherwise, just to acquire your wealth in a halal manner is not sufficient. You got to spend also in a halal manner. You spend it. To acquire it in a halal manner and spend it on haram things, will be questionable for it. If you acquire your wealth in a haram manner and spend it in a halal manner, that also will be questionable for that also. So your earning must also be halal. You mustn't have any doubt in your earnings at all. Nowadays, we find people, what the situation is, somebody does some business and he becomes very shrewd. Very shrewdly he starts doing business, and he deceives people, he hurts people, he robs people, whatever, and he becomes very wealthy and rich. He become now. So say, see what a shrewd person this person is now. How he became so rich? Just imagine, he did that person down. How he come? You say he's got so much capability within himself. They think it to be something of excellence and goodness, but that is not goodness and excellence. That is something of our destruction. That is that will take away all the barakah from our lives, and the year after we have to answer for it. So to acquire our wealth, our sustenance in haram manner, that is not acceptable at all. Allah Ta'ala will ask us concerning it on the day of Qiyamah, how did you earn your living? What happened? So in other words, when we earn our living, we shouldn't displease Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala at all. And we should try and acquire our wealth according to the rules and regulations set down by the Shariat for us. A person he's got a business, for example, and the person is doing his business. What he does, he learns the rules and regulations of the business also. Because you know, if you don't learn the rules of the business, then the government will clamp down on him, will penalize him, will give him fines, whatever it is. So because of that, he'll start learning the rules and regulations of how to conduct his business also. And for that, he'll try and learn the rules of the business, and he'll be very alert concerning this. And he'll try and keep contact with such people who know the laws and rules of business also. For that, he'll go to the people who are educated in that field. He'll go to the lawyers also. He'll go to a tax consultant and lawyers of people who are in charge of those how the tax system works, and that he'll go and ask them also how much I save myself, what must I do, how much I get my business. He'll listen to all their guidelines and he'll follow all their guidelines, so that he'll be left out. He won't be in any problems afterwards. So this, for the worldly purposes, he'll do all this type of thing. He'll try and build up contacts with different people also, how to do the business, how to get the goods at a reduced price, how to sell with a bigger profit margin. All the things we'll try and find out. So much so we try and find out all the rules and regulations of sales tax also, and how to save himself and make more profits. With all the things he'll learn, all the things there. And sometimes he employs somebody, and he pays that person regularly money for that advice, get advice from him. Although he don't take advice every day from him, but his fees are being fixed. Keep on paying the fees. So here Mustab said that in concerning worldly matters, we all have got this within ourselves, that whatever we are doing, we make sure we have more insight of how to conduct that business of ours and how to benefit in that business. But it's said to say concerning our deen, of our maslas, when the ulama is there to help us, to guide us with our maslas of deen, and they don't charge us anything also for that. In spite of that, we are not prepared to go and ask them for our maslahat and to improve our dini aspect of our lives. So it's important we take benefit from them. If you've got ulama in your locality, then go and take benefit from them. Ask maslahat from them. What must how much I conduct my business? How much I make my earnings halal? And the Darul are open also, where the muftis prepared to help us also. Ask them the fatwa, how much I conduct my business, is business correct or not? Is there any doubt in the business, whatever it is? They will guide you, they will help you out. With the result, your earnings will become halal, and that will help you. Further, we will find now in Mishkat Sharif, there is one hadith where Nabi Kareem Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam mentions here, a time will come in the ummah when people will not worry about what is halal and what is haram. They won't worry from where the goods come, whether they come the halal way or haram way. They won't be concerned about that at all. And the goods that come through haram ways are very dangerous. Nabi Kareem Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam said that flesh which is nourished with haram income is fit to go into Jahannam only. Imagine what a stern warning Nabi Kareem Sallallahu has given to us, that the flesh and our body which is nourished with haram income, that part of the flesh will only go into Jahannam, it will go. This hadith we all hear from Nabi Kareem Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, is in the kitab also, ulama give the bayan also, they also explain hadith, but how much this hadith have an effect on us. But the same hadith, Hazrat Abu Bakr radiallahu anhu also heard about it, and what happened to him. One day it's mentioned, concerning Abu Bakr Siddiq radiallahu ta'ala anhu, that one of his slave, he came and Abu Bakr gave him the permission to earn something and give something in return to Abu Bakr radiallahu anhu. It's called Khiraj, it's called. Tell a slave, you work, whatever it is, you are free to work, and a certain amount must give me, and the remainder use for yourself. So he's free already in other words. So this slave was of that type by Hazrat Abu Bakr radiallahu anhu. One is Abu Bakr radiallahu anhu, for many days he hasn't eaten and he was gone very weak. The slave came and gave him some food. Hazrat Abu Bakr radiallahu anhu, because of the hunger was so severe, he ate, put one morsel into his mouth, and when the morsel went down his throat, the slave asked Hazrat Abu Bakr radiallahu anhu, normally you ask me always, from where I brought the food, where I acquired the food. Today you ask what's happening. So I was very hungry, so I never asked, but how will you get this food? He said, in a time prior to Islam, I was a fortune teller, and I never learned the skill of fortune teller properly, but I should do the fortune telling, I should tell the people. And I went to one place, I told them something, and they told me, look, we have got no money to pay you now, but we'll pay you whenever you get money sometime. So, and then they forgot about it, I also forgot about it. And today when I was going past there, they met me and they recognized me, and they told me that, look, we are owing you something, and they had some function there, they had some. And they have cooked a lot of food there, so from there they gave me this food in repayment for that, what work I did for them. So Nabi Abu Bakr told him that you're going to kill me, it looks like. So he started putting his finger in his mouth and tried to vomit out that morsel of food that went down his throat. But he couldn't. Why? Because there was no food in the stomach. Stomach was empty. So somebody advised him that drink some water, then the water will come out. So he drank a whole lot of water, and then he put his fingers on his throat inside. When he vomited out, the morsel of food came out. So somebody told Hazrat Abu Bakr, you are going to kill yourself, in other words. He said, it doesn't matter if I kill myself, but I heard from Nabi Kareem Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam that part of the body which is nourished with haram food will go into Jahannam. How can I go to Jahannam, he said. So he also had the same hadith from Nabi Kareem Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, and this was the condition of Abu Bakr radiallahu anhu, was prepared to give away his life also, just to not to let the body get nourished with haram food. And what is our condition? Do we ever think of that, of ourselves, how is our income, and how are we nourishing ourselves? So we could also keep in mind that, and we also got to try and practice on all the sayings of Nabi Kareem Sallallahu, the teaching of Nabi Kareem Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. And Nabi Kareem Sallallahu has advised us on different ways, different times, what to do and how to look after ourselves in all times. You only got to go and understand the teaching of Nabi Kareem Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. You can live a comfortable life and can enjoy the benefits of Jannah in this world also again. That's why I find many pious people, They love such a life on this world that they say we're enjoying the fruits of Jannah in this world alone. So many people will find about it, and not only men but women also will find that even in the state of dire poverty also, what they say that we are enjoying the fruits of Jannah in this world. Of course, they're not eating anything haram. They are eating all haram, halal, whatever they're eating. Because of that, they are enjoying the fruits of Jannah in this world. They enjoy. So we go to keep this in mind that we go to monitor our earnings in such a way that we are eating. We already have halal earnings, and that halal earnings will bring nur into our lives and encourage us to do more good work also, and we feel comfortable doing more good work and have that recognition of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So one is now to acquire halal earnings, which is also our responsibilities, and the second is now to utilize that halal earnings also. The halal earnings must be utilized in a halal manner also, and a manner which is acceptable by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So if you're going to spend our money in the wrong things, then also we will be questioned by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So in other words, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala never keep us loose without any guidance, that you earn halal now and after that no guidance for after that. No guidance for us after that. Also guidance that spend money in the halal avenues also after that. For example, people earn halal money, and then they go into such parties where there's music and dancing, etc. Now there's something wrong they're doing there. And they organize such parties where there's no parada system, for example. The earning is halal, but the spending is now haram now. So there will be question by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala on the Qiyamah concerning this. So it is important that how we earn, to see how we spend that money also. This will find the Sahab were very particular in this manner, and you should spend halal money in halal avenues to see where they can help people. For example, there was one muhaddis. That muhaddis, in the day of Eid came, so the wife told him that now we can manage to stay without new clothes, without anything, without food, whatever it is. But what is our children? Try and arrange something for them. He said, we got no money at the moment. He said, we can borrow some money from somebody, but make sure that this day it goes well. So now he went to one businessman and asked the businessman that can you borrow me some money. So my wife was saying that we'll stay without food, doesn't matter, but without our children. So this businessman went into his room and he brought a bag of money and gave it to him. A sealed bag of money and gave it to him. There were 1,200 coins inside, dirhams. He comes home now, he tells the wife, now here's the money now, do whatever you want to do. But the money is so much more, is more than our needs. We didn't need so much money. While we were talking like that, there was a knock on the door, and so one of his friends, Hashmi friend of his, came to meet him. When the Hashmi friend came to meet him, he said, I told him that why he came this time, on odd time he came. He said, well, my wife was telling me that when we eat tomorrow now, and what about our children? He said, our children go to do something for them. We can stay without food now, and we are adults. But what about the children? They need some clothing also, they need some food also, whatever it is. So you can help me with some money, whatever it is. He said, wait a little bit. And he went back to his wife, told my Hashmi friend is asking for some help also. What must he do? So the wife asked, what is in your mind? What are you going to do now? He said, I think there are 1,200 coins in the bag. Let's take half. We take 600 and give him 600. Our work is done. His work also will get done. So the wife told the husband that what's the difference between you and wealthy man? You are gone more lower than wealthy man also. The wealthy man got no knowledge, but he's more generous than you. In other words, he gave 100%, and you want to give 50%. You want to give. So I feel very hurt that what the intention, what the bad intention I got with myself. Now I'm more lower than the businessman also in piety. In other words, so he took all the money, gave to that person, Hashmi friend of his. Hashmi friend went away. Now the money went away. After 3-4 days, that wealthy man who borrowed money from, he came back to him now and asked him, what do you do with the money I gave? He said, I used it up, so I spend whatever it is. He said, no, tell me the truth, what happened. Then I'll tell you my story, you see. So he told him that, look, my money when I brought here, when they were discussing at home, one of my Hashmi friend came, he also wanted money for his wife and children. He had the same problem in his home, so we gave the money to him, I gave the money to him. So this businessman is telling him that, after you went away from here, and I went home, then my wife told me the same thing also, that tomorrow, for Eid, what's happen? We can manage ourselves, but what about our children? You must do something. He said, I got no money left now. Money is given out already. So whatever you go to, you can borrow money from somewhere. So I went to a Hashmi friend of mine, so his friend also asked me. So he went to his friend, told me that I've got this problem in the home, can't help me out. So he gave me this money. When he gave me the money, I saw the same bag which I gave you. It wasn't touched, it wasn't open at all. So this I can ask what's the originality of the money I gave it to you. So imagine how generous they were to look after the next person's needs more than their own needs they were. So they knew where to spend the money in the proper channels. So if we learn the incidents and the stories of the pious elders, we learn how to conduct our lives also. We find that the incident of Hazrat Usman radiallahu ta'ala anhu also, that one time somebody came to Nabi Karim sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, that Nabi Karim sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said, I need some help. So Nabi Karim sallallahu alayhi wa sallam told him, that, no, what, I've got nothing with me, go to Hazrat Usman radiallahu ta'ala, go to him. Then I have sent you there and he must help you out. So when I went to Usman radiallahu house, from outside I heard there was some types of arguments taking place in the home. So I went near to listen what's happening. I heard that the argument was that the wife of Usman radiallahu anhu had put the lamp, the wick of the lamp a little bit high. So Usman radiallahu was reprimanding her that you got no work at night now, you're going to so put the lamp down. This is called Fuzul Kharji, is a wastage of wealth. This is now. On that day, he was reprimanding her. You see, when I heard this, he said that every person love their wives. They give everything for they prepare to give anything to their wives and look after them. Here for a small thing, he's rebuking her. And who is his wife? Daughter of Nabi Karim sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Imagine. So when this thought came, I said, no, I think this guy is this person. That Usman radiallahu anhu is very stingy as a miser. He won't give me anything. He doesn't give me anything. And he went away from there. Went back to Nabi Karim sallallahu alaihi wasallam the next day. Asked, did you get anything from what happened? So when I went there, I saw this discussion taking place, so I didn't have the guts to ask him anything. I said, no, you go to him. Now the second time he goes back to him now, and when I asked him that I need a little bit of help, Usman gave him more than what he wanted to help. Now he was very surprised and shocked, he was baffled, what's happening here now? So I asked Usman that when I came here the day before, this was happening in your house, and here you gave so much more than this now, what's happening? I say, you don't understand the reality that our whole life revolves around Nabi Karim sallallahu alaihi wasallam. But wherever he gives us permission, we'll spend everything whatever we got. And where he stops us, we won't spend a cent also in those 7 years. So the Sahaba Kiram remain, their purpose and object was whatever Nabi Sallallahu commands them to do, they do that. But he stopped them, they stay away from there. But Nabi Karim sallallahu stopped them from extravagance. So they stayed away from extravagance at all. But to help the poor people, they were always eager to help the poor people always. So how they earn the money and how to spend the money, they taught us how to do that. So among means our nature should be of that type, that we should be very careful how we acquire our wealth, and should think carefully where we spend our wealth also at the same time. Where Allah and Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam forbidden us to spend our wealth, we mustn't spend our wealth there. And where they encourage us, this way we must spend our wealth. So if Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given us some wealth, then it is something of great shame for us that we spend it against the wish of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And whatever wealth Allah has given to us is a kindness of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He has given us some wealth. Now to spend that wealth against the commands of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is something of great shame. It is something. So we could try and keep this in mind, that what wealth Allah give us, must spend it also in the proper channel also. And we know that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given us this whole body also. And with this body, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given us eyes also, hands also, feet also, the tongue also, every part of the body Allah has given to us. These are all body parts linked to the body. So this Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala would ask us concerning this also. How do you spend your body? How do you utilize everything? How do you utilize your eyes? You utilize your eyes in seeing good things or bad things. How do you utilize your hands? You touch good things or bad things you touch with your hands. With your feet also. Whatever everything Allah will ask you. So then we will be prepared for that question also on the day of Qiyamah. So it's important we understand this very carefully, because when a person makes guna, but remember there's a farishta sitting on our shoulders writing everything down. On the day of Qiyamah you'll find this farishta will also give witness, the two farishtas, that we have written, we saw this, he did this thing there. In the written book will also be in front of you also as a proof that you did something. At the same time you find the body also will be a witness for you. Body also give witness, this definitely that has happened. And tongue will Allah put a seal on the tongue, and the part of the body will speak just what you have done. So know how you're going to get saved then. And then the fourth thing is now the ground where you made it guna, the ground also give witness. So what are you going to now? You've got 4 witnesses against you. How you want? What is going to happen to you on the day of Qiyamah then? So it's important that you understand that our life is very valuable. Life is very short. So try and look after this life in such a manner that we don't have regrets on the day of Qiyamah. And we know that Nabi Kareem Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam was so kind to us that he gave us a question paper also and gave us the answer also at the same time. No teacher will be so that he'll give the question paper and answer also to you. If some teachers give some answers to some question they give, and then also if the child doesn't study those sections well and he fails the exam, what will the teacher tell the child? I gave you all the answers and still you know right how I told you, then he will definitely fail him. You won't pass him at all because you never listen to him also. On the other side, on the other hand now, the teacher gives some hints to a child, and the child goes over all the topics, and in the exams he write all the what he has studied at home now, and then in the passes, the teacher will get happy with him. Say, now at least you listen to what I told you, and now you can go to the next class grade you can go to. When go home, his parents will be happy with him, his friends will be happy, all will be happy with him. So when Nabi Kareem Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam gave us all the questions and answers, and we are not going to look after ourselves, not going to pass this exam on the day of Qiyamah, how hurt will Nabi Kareem Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam feel? What will happen to our elders? Our teachers will be there, our asars will be there, our mashayikh will be there. How will they feel that we give the answers already in the world and see what do you do in the world now? So let's think of that situation also, that we could try and ponder over these questions which and Islam has given us an answer also. Try and practice upon this that we can get saved hereafter from disgrace also. Yeah, Hazrat Nabi Kareem Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam says when Surah Zilzal was reading Surah Zilzal, the ayat Yawm Idin Tuhaddithu Akhbaraha, on that day when the ground will start giving witness and giving news of the ground. Then Nabi Kareem Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, and then they asked Nabi Kareem Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, then Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam asked the Sahaba, you know what news the ground will give to anybody? Sahaba said that Allah and Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam know the best. On that Nabi Kareem Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam replied that whatever the ground will say, whatever has been done on the ground, whether it's a male or a female, on the day of Qiyamah, that ground will give witness for whatever has been done on the surface of the ground. So here on the day of Qiyamah also, Allah Ta'ala will have the different types of witnesses for you on the day of Qiyamah, that the ground also will give witness for the good actions we have done or the bad actions we have done. This is a piece of ground where a person reads namaz, for example, that ground will boast on the day of Qiyamah that this certain moment read namaz on me. A person made zikr, read Quran tilawat, the piece of ground will boast on the day of Qiyamah that this person read Quran on me, did good actions on me. So the more good actions we do, the ground also will give witness for us, and that witness will be a means for our salvation also. And we'll find now that, as we mentioned also, all the actions, whatever we did, our deeds will be written in a book. So that also will give witness also. And the third is that the bodies, parts of the body of a human being also will give witness on the day of Qiyamah also. And the ground also will give witness on the day of Qiyamah. So these are the 4 things that will give witness on the day of Qiyamah for whatever we did in this world. So if we treat them very well, then we'll get better witness on the day of Qiyamah, and that witness will support us going to Jannah very quickly. Here Hazrat Nabi Kareem Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam mentioned another hadith that how can I get happy and how can I live with contentment and peace? He say, when I know already that the trumpet is already on the mouth of the Farishta, and the Israel Islam has got a trumpet already by his mouth, in the form of a horn, and his ears are towards the commands of Allah Subhanahu wa Taala. The minute Allah Ta'ala given a command, he is about to blow the horn for Qiyamah. Nabi Kareem Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, when this is the situation, how can you stay with peace? The person will be always worried, will be concerned now, what will happen if Qiyamah will come immediately, what is going to happen to me? That person who got this, especially in himself, he will know that any time death can come. When death comes, that is my Qiyamah already now. So what will happen to me now? So he'll be very cautious how he conduct his lives. When Nabi Kareem Sallallahu explained this to the Sahab, then the Sahaba Ikram they got very frightened. Their face started turning pale. They didn't know what to do. Then Nabi Kareem Sallallahu told them that read Hasbunallah wa ni'mal wakeel. Then read this, that Allah Ta'ala is sufficient for us and better for us. Then in other words, wherever we are going, whatever we are doing, read this kalima, Hasbunallah wa ni'mal wakeel. Keep on reading this. Then have confidence and trust in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah will be kind towards you also, inshallah. Here, Hazrat Israfil alayhi salatu wasalam, we know that he is given the task to blow the horn for Qiyamah. And from the day when Allah gave him the task, he's got that horn by his mouth already. And his ears is attention towards the command of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Whenever Allah ta'ala will give the command, immediately blow the horn. So keep that vision in our mind all the time. That when a person has got this type of feeling within himself, then you think for yourself, this person ever sleep with unawareness or sleep carelessly without any feelings. For example, a person is in a home, and that place we know that earthquake took place in that place already. So we know after earthquake, after shocks take place again, after effects take place again. Again they have one two small shaking they have again. So a person who is in his home, after the first earthquake, you think he'll remain at peace inside. He'll always worry, when after shocks will take place again now, and try and move out of the house quickly. The same way understand from here that the Israfil Islam got the horn already by his mouth to blow it. How can we sleep in peace and comfort? Because we think that any time Qiyamah will come, what is going to happen to us. And for example, a person has got a house, and in the house the roof is very weak and can fall down any time. Will anybody sleep at peace in that home? Always in mind will on that when the roof falls on me, what will happen to me? He'll move away from there, he'll make some other means to strengthen the roof, or he'll do something, but he won't sleep in there at peace. The same way we can understand when the horn is being blown for Qiyamah and so near it is, then how can we sleep at peace and comfort and don't prepare for our akhirat? So it's our responsibility to prepare for our akhirat. That's why Nabi Kareem Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam should wake up at night and read namaz at night. He should wake up. Some asked Aisha radiallahu ta'ala anha, what is the special action of Nabi Kareem Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, wisdom of Nabi Kareem Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam? She said everything of his is special. There's something more special. Say once Nabi Kareem Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam came to my home, and at night we slept, and after sleeping at night he woke up at night. He made wuzu and started long namaz he read. So long namaz he read that as Bilal gave Fajr azan he gave her. So I asked Sam Shari, so long namaz, his speech gets swollen also. So I asked Nabi Kareem Sallallahu that you are masoom, you are sinless, and Allah is promised to forgive all your sins and the future sins also. Why do you exert yourself so much? Nabi Kareem Sallallahu replied, must not be grateful to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? So imagine Nabi Kareem Sallallahu was so great. He sacrificed his nights just to worship Allah, make ibadah to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Who are we? We could be even more thankful to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and make more tawbah istighfar to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and turn towards Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. In another hadith, Nabi Kareem Sallallahu mentioned that person who fears Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and come out of the dark. And that person will come out of the dark, he will reach his destination. And understand that the wealth of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is very, very costly. And the wealth of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is Jannat. And in that time, the normal practice of people is what? That people should come and people should live in areas, in tribes should live. When they get sometimes they get the news that some enemies won't come and attack them. When the news comes to them, what they do at night in the dark, when nobody is seeing them, they go away from there to safeguard their lives. That when the enemies come also, they won't hurt anyone, don't take anybody's life in there. But here, in this case here, what it means here, to go away from the dark at night, means that a person, because of the fear of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, he wakes up at night and makes ibadah of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, he has himself in reading the namaz, making ibadah to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that will make him reach his object and purpose in life. In other words, because of that, he'll get Jannah, he'll get, inshallah. Then Nabi Karim sallallahu alaihi wasallam mentioned also that the wealth of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is very costly. That is Jannat. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has put Jannat in front of us like a commodity, for example. That you buy the Jannat, in other words. So Allah ta'ala bought our lives and our wealth in place of Jannat. So Allah ta'ala bought our life also and our wealth also for Jannat. Now our life don't belong to us now. It belongs to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Our wealth don't belong to us, it belongs to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Now it means that. And the others will conduct our life according to the commands of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and spend our wealth according to the command of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, because Allah has bought us over already, and the price Allah put for what purchased us for is Jannat for us now. So if we're going to conduct our life according to the command of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, then we are going to get Jannat in return for that, in other words. So some of the pious people say that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has put the price for Jannat, a very cheap price he has put already for us. Just our wealth and our life only. Whereas Jannat is much more costlier than that also. So Allah is so kind towards us, Allah put a very cheap price for Jannat for us. Otherwise, if we look after ourselves in such a manner, to obey all the commands of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, then Jannat is definitely guaranteed for us. So to achieve Jannat for us, we've got to strive a little bit in this world. We've got to make a little effort, and we've got to strive in this world a little to get Jannat. And that is that wake up at night and think of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, make Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. When everybody is sleeping, you be awake and turn towards Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That will give you a place in Jannat also. Another place, Nabi Karim sallallahu alaihi wasallam explains that on the Qiyamah, when everybody will be raised on the Qiyamah, will be raised naked. And there will be no clothes on our body. And will be on the day of Qiyamah, and uncircumcised also at the same time. When this was Nabi Sallallahu explained this, and at that time, the Aisha radiallahu anha asked Nabi Karim sallallahu alaihi wasallam, whatever the man and woman will be together, how will they see one another? One of the shame, there is shame between them. Nabi Karim sallallahu replied at that time, Aisha, the thing will be so tense and so difficult it will be at that time. No one will have the time to think also to look at one another at that time. Otherwise, the day of Qiyamah will be so severe, it will be that nobody will have the thought also to look at one another. What if the own servants will happen to me? How I'm going to pass my examination on the day of Qiyamah? Like when somebody is engrossed in some work, and ask them, do you see something? I know not. I was doing my work because you want to work like that. In that manner, will be engrossed in the work. You won't know what is happening also. One day, one person came to one Buzurg and told the Buzurg that I can't look after my gaze. My gaze is always going on wrong places. We said, no, you can't. But look out, make some means. It's just not possible. So, okay, we said, okay, no mind. I told him that to fill a glass of water till the brim. You can take this water and going to throw it to another Buzurg on the other side of the town. And the condition is, they said, not one drop of this milk, it was milk. Not one drop of milk must fall out of the glass. And he sent one very strong man behind him. Look at the mud, he spilled a little bit, must give him one shot from the back, must give him. So now he started going, he went there and he gave the milk there and he came back. So they was asking, how many things do you see in the world, in the town, what's happening? I know nothing in the town. He said, why? Because if you see in the town at the spill, you should get a shot from the back, I should get. So because of that, fear of the shot from the back, I kept my gaze on the milk all the time, that my milk must spill off from the glass. So I said that in the same manner also, if you know that Allah's punishment is behind you all the time, and then you won't do such, your gaze won't go wrong places also at the same time. So the only thing we could do, look after ourselves and try and align ourselves with knowledge. When we align ourselves with knowledge, and that's the only time we'll find goodness coming into our lives. We'll understand the value of our lives, we'll understand why we are created and what must we do also. Allah Ta'ala give us tawfiq for understanding and practicing, and to understand the value of the life Allah has given to us, and how to fulfill this ni'mat of the life Allah has given to us. That will come when we learn from the teaching of Nabi Karim sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And learn from the Quran, we learn that instant mention in the Quran, how we've been in different ways Allah Ta'ala explain to us how to conduct our lives, whatever to past nations, those who do wrong things, whatever to them now, So all this to explain the Quran, all these things for us to understand how to conduct our lives properly also. Allah Ta'ala gives us tawfiq for understanding and conduct our lives according to commands of Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala, and we have Nabi Kareem Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam that we can be successful in this world also and also in the hereafter also. Subhanallah, subhanakallah.